All right, ladies and gentlemen, I told you this brother was coming through the station. He's coming through the studio to chill with your boy. Man, go way back with this guy. I'm talking about 2004, 2005, first album. Now he has blueptuated in a way that we knew he had the ability to do. And so proud of this brother right here. Y'all help me welcome to the show, Lecrae.
Yes. Yes.
What's up, man?
Oh, man, God is good. I'm just glad to be here, man.
Dude, 2004, like I said, 2004, 2005,
Sheesh.
real talk.
That's crazy.
I'm talking about real talk, the
That's
first
crazy.
album. And this our first interview, man.
I don't even think I was in puberty. I just finished puberty when that album came out.
Barely. This is our first interview, dude. I'm like, this is
Really? That's
this is
crazy.
No
I feel like
phoner, nothing.
Okay,
Like just,
so
you know, we
yeah,
always
sitting
see each
face
other
to
in the
face.
past, and
That's crazy.
The award show that I hosted, that you were getting the award at, and all that, but we never sat down and chopped it up. So
That's crazy.
yeah, man, long
it
overdue.
took this long?
Dude, long overdue.
Man.
And dude, so proud of you. Got a Grammy now, man. Number one award, number one book. Author now.
Yeah, man.
Man, you are just doing great things, bro, and I'm so proud of you, man.
Wow, man, I appreciate that, man. I feel like the support and just the love is it takes a lot to stand by all the different moves and stuff that I've made, and for people to take the time to understand what I'm doing, and for people like yourself to continue rocking, man, it means a lot.
Thanks,
so,
man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, man, we got to jump right into the new single, man.
Okay.
Blessings.
Yeah.
Ty Dolla. I saw that. I was like, what? and then I heard it, and it was crazy, man. Talk about where that came from, just out the gate.
Yeah, man, I've always been a fan of trying to make music for regular people, real people who, folks like me who righteous and ratchet, a little ratchet, you know what I mean? It's
a
like,
bit of both.
Yeah, and you gotta, everybody isn't, hard bottoms, suit and tie, it's like you gotta be able to connect with people in a real way. And this song was really birthed out of me just trying to connect with people in a real way, and to tell people, man, to, when you wake up today, you woke up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And before you complain, be grateful you got breath to complain with. It's a blessing. And so I wanted to communicate that. And Ty, I just feel like, he's a musician. He loves what I do, and he was gonna respect everything that I was about, and it just turned into great music.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
That was a good look. Now, got an album coming.
An album
New
on the
album
way.
on the way. Do we have a title yet?
We don't have a title yet.
Okay.
But we got some great concepts for titles, and I'm excited. I'm excited for people to hear the music, though. It's gonna be great, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we looking
this
to
summer.
release it? This summer?
Summer. Album's coming this summer.
Now we got Ty on it.
Right.
All right. Now are we talking about other collabos?
Yeah. Man, I've been in the studio working with a lot of people. I got everybody from, of course, Ty, Tori Kelly, Kierra Sheard.
Nice.
Sheesh, the home team, the 116 is gonna pop up here and there.
Yeah, I saw the snaps and the Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
Everybody was in there. I'm talking about Trip, Andy, Tadashi. Everybody was in the studio. So is that what we talking about?
You gotta wait and see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember them being in the studio. They was in the studio.
Man, it's evidence.
You sure?
It's evidence.
I don't know, man.
Pull it up, brother.
I'm pretty sure I ain't seen them dudes. I don't know, man.
Look, I can't wait to hear what that was all about, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Stay
saying?
tuned.
Okay.
We cooking something.
Good stuff. Now, let's talk about 2016, man. It was a great year for you, professionally, and then definitely from your song that you put out. It was a tumultuous year at the same time. So tell a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest lesson, that I would tell people is that, all the wonders in the world, don't give your soul peace. You know what I mean? Like I had a New York Times bestseller, number one album, all these incredible things happening, but yet, man, internally, man, I was a mess.
Yeah.
And I needed restoration. I needed healing. I needed, just to find a sense of peace. And it was a culmination of a lot of things. My good friend and former DJ Official had passed away. So that was hard on me. And then on top of that, it was a lot of, I'm used to criticism. I've been catching flack since 2011 from fans and whatnot. But I think when it's near and dear to home, and you're talking about something that really matters, like police brutality, or you're talking about people being killed in the street, and it's met with just like a shrug of the shoulders. It's painful, you know, to hear people say that. And when people, you know, making everything you say political and not personal, you know, that's very painful as well. And so, man, it was a hard year that I just needed to kind of step away and find some restoration and some healing and some peace and come back out in 2017 as a whole new person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good stuff, man. And like I said, you addressed a lot of that on Can't Stop Me Now.
Yeah.
And which was a dope song, by the way, man.
Appreciate that.
So I heard you talk about something that I think is really interesting, and even the way that you explained it, I was like, it was eye-opening. It was like, but it was right there in front of our face the whole time, so why can't we see it? You said that, you know, talking about your 2016 and how you got a lot of backlash and all of that from speaking out politically and speaking out about, you know, the police brutality and all of that. A lot of your fans kind of, you know, turned their back on you or had some sideways comments to say.
Yeah.
And then you said that, you know, that was part of what the AmeriChristianity is, I believe what you said. Break that down, man.
Yeah, AmeriChristianity, man. It's just what I had, you know, to come to terms with is people have a version of Christianity that is more nationalistic than it is Bible. You know what I mean? Where it's more about you know, patriotism and love for your country than it is loving your neighbor. And that is where people would start to wrestle with me and say, and the reason why is because, you know, in conservative evangelicalism, you know, politics comes into play, and you know, these conservative politics a lot of times don't realize that people of color become casualties of nationalism. So you'll say, you know, we're all about this country, but then you don't realize how being all about this country has its foot on the neck of people of color.
Right.
And if you are a Christian, you know, in these communities, in our communities, you know, you care about what's happening. And so it doesn't mean you don't care. You know, they're trying to strip your faith away from you because you say, I disagree with your politics. And they say, well, no, if you disagree with my politics, you ain't really a believer. And I'm like, no, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So it was me having to say, listen, y'all, I still love the Lord, but I disagree with these issues. And it doesn't make me liberal.
Right.
You know, it makes me complex. I'm not you. You know, so
the belief that you have to be either or. You
exactly. Yeah, man. We just don't do well with nuance. We don't do well with complexity. We like everything to be black and white. You know, red or blue, and you know, just being transparent. You know, they use one issue to make the case for faith, and so, you know, they'll say, you know, take pro-life, for example. You know, pro-life becomes the one issue where it's like, well, if you don't rock with this, you're not really a believer. And for me, I'm like, well, you know, pro-life is from the womb to the tomb. You can't. You just talking about the womb. We talking about, you know, Laquan.
Right.
We pro-life. We his life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so we need that whole picture painted, you know, for us to be, you know, passionate about, for us to be sincere about our faith.
Yeah. Now, speaking of backlash and things like that, I want to go back, man. So I said 2004, 2005 is when Real Talk came out. And then you put out, of course, several albums after that. And a lot of your early music, you were overtly, you know, Bible, Jesus,
Right.
to now, 2017 Lecrae, you're like, don't label me a Christian rapper.
Yeah.
And I think it was around church clothes is when that kind of switch happened. So a lot of people look at that and like, man, what happened? Why did he kind of switch lanes, or why did he switch not lanes but switch the delivery style? I think it is. And so what happened?
Well,
what was the awakening?
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't realize is this is all strategic, and it's all, you know, not without spiritual development, not without people investing in my life. This ain't just like, you know what, I think I'm going to change my mind and do this. You know what I'm saying? A lot of what happened, the backstory is, you know, when you heard Real Talk, I had been a believer for not very long at all. So everything you were hearing was just raw passion of everything that I was just learning. Well, after you learn it, you know what I'm saying? It's not that you're not passionate about it anymore. It's that now you're more passionate about living it than just screaming it from the rooftops. You know, anybody can wear a T-shirt, but, you know, anybody can put on a jersey. But do you know how to play the game? And I got more concerned with how I was playing the game than just screaming about how dope I was at playing the game.
Yeah.
And the strategy came from, I moved to Atlanta in 2009, and just trying to mix it up in the streets and realizing, I don't really know how to, get outside of this little Christian bubble. I don't really know how to mix it up with people like I'm talking about on these records. And so I had to learn how to become that salt and become that light. And, salt ain't salty if it don't never come into contact with the meat. You know what I mean? If it don't, you can't tell. And nobody ever says, that salt was really carroty. Or, you know what I'm saying? That salt was meaty. Everyone always says that meat was salty, that carrot was salty. Yeah. And so if you don't come into contact with it, you ain't really being salt. And then the biggest thing that I learned, man, was listening to a sermon, and it was talking about, Caesarea Philippi, and Jesus was at Caesarea Philippi, and he was telling Peter, he said, listen, the gates of hell shall not prevail against you. And if you do the contextual history and the study, you understand that was a literal place in front of them called the gates of hell, the gates of Hades. And that was a place in front of them of worship. And Jesus said, upon this rock, I'll build my church, and the gates of hell will not prevail. And what Jesus was saying was, what are gates for? Gates are to keep people out. Yeah. And he's saying the gates of hell won't prevail. So the gates won't keep me out. Gates are not, we're not supposed to be inside of our little bubble. We're supposed to be storming the gates. We're supposed to be kicking them down. And so for me, it made me say, I'm not trying to create this little safe bubble. I'm trying to go out there and kick down these gates. And that's who Lecrae is. And that may not be everybody's role, but that's my role. And so I got to be faithful to my call.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Now, question. Did Sho Baraka, and I'm happy y'all reconciled and everything's good on that lane. Did Sho Baraka have a lot to do with that? Because from outside looking in, I looked at, him and how he kind of switched his delivery. Yeah. And it seemed like he got a lot of flack. Seemingly, sometimes, honestly, it seemed like even some of it came from you because y'all had, I guess, disagreements on the delivery at that time. Did Sho have a lot to do or anything to do with, you kind of opening your eye like, you know what, let's do it this way?
Sho's always been 10 steps ahead. Okay. He may not always articulate what is happening correctly, in the moment. But he's always been 10 steps ahead, and he challenged me years and years ago on so many things that I just couldn't see. When it was just 116, we was just a mob of guys. He was like, yo, you need to stand up and be a leader. I was like, I don't want to be no leader, bro. It's just all of us. Let's all rock together. And he was like, no, you need to really just like, dog, you don't choose it. It chose you. Yeah. And so, he challenged me there. And then, he was challenging me on, just like, man, we started off doing shows, coming out to the hoods in every city in America, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden it's like, now you only in the burbs, and now you only in, shows like, yo, man. Yeah, it's like, yo, man, why we not communicating to that original core anymore? And I was like, I'm not trying to avoid them, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, they can come to the shows, So he was always pushing back, and then I think it was watching him navigate and him causing me to think and him giving me books. He gave me a lot of literature to read. One book was Imagine by Steve Turner, which, was really a life-shaping book for me. And, so he's always pushed back. And, I salute him and support him to the fullest, because if he wouldn't have pushed back, man, we wouldn't be where we are now.
That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Recently, there was some controversy about one of your interviews. And some stuff that you didn't necessarily say in a way that someone or people would have liked you to say it. Yeah. And made a video about it and everything. And then I thought it was kind of major that you responded, with an apology. Me personally, I didn't take that perspective. You know what I'm saying? I know how it is with interviews. You can't write a whole dictionary in an interview. You know what I'm saying? You can only say da-da-da-da-da-da, and people always want you to say something else or something more.
Absolutely.
And that's not necessarily, maybe even yourself. You look back like, man, I should have said, whatever.
I do that every interview. I do that every time. I'm like, oh, man, I didn't say this.
So why did you, and I'm sure you get that from tons of people. You know what I'm saying? All kind of critiques and he should have did this, that. Why did you decide to address that in particular?
You know what? That's a good question. That's Datin from God Over Money.
Yeah.
And you know, people send stuff to me all the time. You know, challenges, thoughts, disagreements. Most of the time, they coming from my head. And he came from my heart.
Indeed.
You know, and I appreciated that.
Yeah.
And I said, man, I'm gonna give you the time of day and respond to you because you did it the right way, bro. Like, you know, if you don't like something that somebody in the spotlight is doing, you know, treat them like a human being. You know what I'm saying? I'm still a human being at the end of the day. So it's like you so used to people coming at you negatively and sideways, you ignore them.
Right.
When somebody comes at you like, hey, man, listen, this is in love. I believe the best about you.
Yeah.
But here's the issue that I have. Well, man, you got to respect that.
Yeah.
So I had to respect his approach. And man, take it on the chin. I'm not above reproach. I'm not above learning.
Yeah.
And you know, if that's how he felt, man, I'm grateful that he had the nerve and the heart and the maturity to say it in the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true. He did. So.
Yeah.
Shout out to the homie Datin. Hey, man, about to let you out of here, brother.
Yeah.
But once again, I just want to thank you for stopping through. Oh, I wanted to ask, what would 2014 or what would 2004, 2005 Lecrae? What would 2017 Lecrae say to 2004, 2005 Lecrae? What would be that your advice?
You know, it's seasons for everybody and seasons for everything, and I don't regret 2004 or any of those seasons. I needed those times and those seasons, and they made me who I am. And I think you need, you know, one thing I would say too to a lot of young believers who look at what I'm doing and where I've gone and where I've gotten to. This is not without investment, spiritual maturity. This isn't just jumping straight from Little League to the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like if ain't nobody working on your spiritual development, you can't expect to go on the road with, you know, Young Thug and hold it down.
Right.
And, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, I've been in this for a long time. So what I would tell 2004 Lecrae, man, that's good. Like, I love your zeal and your passion for the Lord. You know, continue to articulate it, and you know, and I would say, but you know, live it. Focus on trying to live it more than talk about it. You know what I'm saying? The albums back then was kind of like how Twitter is now.
Right.
We tweet before we live. You know what I'm saying? It's like you ain't even living that shit, bro. But you just dropping. You ain't as wise as your tweets are. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really live that. And that's what I would tell myself then. It's like, man, everything you saying on wax is dope. Yeah. But I need you to let it marinate, you know, and become a part of you, because it's gonna come a time when you get older where, you know, you're gonna look back and say, "Dag," you know what I'm saying? Like I was kind of idealistic, you know what I mean? But hey, you live and you learn. And the other thing I would say too is, man, you know, my identity was wrapped up in being right, and now I'm okay with being wrong. You know what I'm saying? Some people just, if they wrong about something, they just lose their mind. Oh my gosh. And it's like, man, okay, I was wrong. Okay. And God still love me. Move on. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I was wrong. But I wouldn't have been able to handle that back then, 2005. I'm not wrong. We're gonna argue about this.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yes, sir. Good stuff, man. Hey, one more time, y'all. Make sure if you don't have the song, you don't have a single right now, Blessings by Lecrae featuring Ty Dolla. It's available everywhere right now. Album coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. One more time, y'all. Give it up for Lecrae.
Thank y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.